Hi everyone. Today I have a look what I found at a garage sale video combined with look what I found um, at my at my grandma's house that's going to be pulled down, which I said it was going to be pulled down last winter and we thought it was, and then the guy who does kind of the dirt moving or whatever you call that, he didn't get to it, so it's still standing. And so we, while it's still standing, we keep going and kind of making sure that we've pulled everything that we want. And I hadn't been since January, I think, and so I went to a couple garage sales in a village near me this morning, and I was down that way, and I thought, well, I'll just go over and see Grandma's house, take a bunch of photos, and kind of just make sure that I've kind of said my goodbyes. Um, so I tried to do that, and it was a good experience. The mock orange was blooming, which has always been a shrub that I wanted to have at my house, and I've had a lot of, we've tried, in fact, my sister is very, very good. She's a wonderful gardener, and she's very scientific and knows how to do all the right things, and we've tried cuttings. I don't think that she's had any success getting cuttings rooted from that mock orange. But it's the one thing that just looks great still, because she hasn't lived there for 6 years, so we haven't really done anything to keep up the yard and garden. But the mock orange looks amazing, just like it always does, and it was full of bees and smelled, just wonderful. And anyway, so that's what I did, and I wanted to share that with you just because these kinds of videos are kind of just fun. If you don't get to go garage sailing very often, which I don't because it does take a lot of time, it's just fun to see what other people, or I should say, we call them garage sales mostly around here, but you might say yard sales, or what do you say in England? Do you say something like a boot sale or something? I don't know. So there's different things you might call them. But I went to what we call garage sales, and so I just thought I'd share that quickly, and also because I've been wanting to talk to you about why I haven't come back with more mouse make along stuff, and it is just truly, it's because that video got so many views, and I was so blown away and surprised and overwhelmed that I just kind of flipped myself out. Like, I just kind of didn't know how to process that or understand why that happened. And I also just didn't know how to think about having that many eyes on me. I do have a lot more subscribers to my channel that I did, but it still would be considered a very small channel with, I haven't actually checked the count, but I'm sure it's under 10,000 subscribers still. So it's not like they're just scads of you who are going to tune in for this video. I think that was probably a fluke, but it just kind of like, I just was kind of like, well, how do I follow that up? Like, what can I make that's going to be good enough to follow that up? Because I made that, really intending for it to be a good tutorial, interesting, useful, helpful, all those things, but I didn't expect it to appeal to that many people, and so it just really did. I think I just had to sort of get, I don't know, I'm not comfortable with it, but I had to find a way to accept that and then know how to move on. And basically what I'm doing today is just trying to get a video out to you all, because um what is really difficult for me about putting out videos is actually just editing a video together. Well, taking the video and then editing it together is very um unenjoyable for me, and so that's a lot of times why I don't get videos out to you very quickly, because I just truly find that process painful, almost like I really dread it. So I thought, well, I'll just do this video that won't require so much editing, and it will get the ball rolling, and hopefully I can kind of set myself small goals with manageable videos so that I can not disappear for a few months again. So what I'll just show you quickly is I only went to a couple sales, and one of them was really fun. It was an older couple, and that's not as common anymore. A lot of the older generation are whatever going into homes and stuff, who have the kind of stuff that I used to buy like 15 years ago. But this was actually this little um, elephant was just in the free box, and it is very old. You can tell by the hair, and I don't know if that comes through on the camera, but it's that old kind of whatever it is, not just kind of faux fur, and it is kind of stiff and crunchy the way they are, and I just thought it was sweet. I may decorate with it or pass it on to someone who loves elephants. I don't know. Um, Also, the lady who was having the sale sewed all of her own clothes for a lot of years, and I thought that was a beautiful shirt. It might be a little too um, large for me, but it is so well done that I got it anyway, and I'll pass it on to my sister if it just looks giant on me. Um, and then just, I didn't get many clothes. This is the last clothing item. You might not think this is cute, but you know how the kind of 80s and 90s stuff is backwards, like oversized, boxy. I would say this is from the 80s or 90s. Street Closed is the brand. I just thought that might be. I am always looking for a way to add a layer in the winter, and because this is so giant, I can put it over another like sweatshirt or jumper or whatever. Um, so those were things, and then this chenille bedspread was at that garage sale too, which is so soft and pretty and in really good shape, and that will probably go in my daughter Nettie's room. That was the clothing items were 25 cents. This was $5. This was my big purchase of the day. They also had quite a few craft items. So this little container full was of thread, off-white and white thread, was 25 cents for the whole container, and this actually goes like kind of leads into what will be, I hope, one of our next make-alongs, which is I have this new technique. It's not a new technique, it's an old technique, but it's a new technique that I'm trying for spun cotton, where you wrap your initial layer of cotton with thread to and you form it just like if you were wrapping. Doing a really bad job of explaining, but you wrap your cotton around, to get some basic structure and bulk there, and then you use the thread to, by either wrapping it tightly or less tightly, you can kind of start shaping your sculpture with the thread, and then you go over and you coat around. Anyway, I'll show you how to do a mouse that way. I think it's it's a really handy technique. I've seen some other artists using it, mostly like in like Eastern Europe and stuff. There's a lot of spun cotton. So this is cotton thread, and that's gonna work great for that. So I like to, and for some reason when I was going through and like looking for some thread to practice with it, I'm low on white thread, so that was a handy find. A little rooster. I think it's supposed to look like a rooster because of the tail magnet that someone crafted. I always like a funny little magnet. I have no idea really what this is. An outhouse. It says girls. It's really nicely done. Like it's got individual shingles that someone glued on. What I don't understand is I think it must have been just purely for decoration. It's got beautiful little hinges on the door. And even inside, there's the actual like little bench with holes in it, like an outhouse. But like, there's no way. I thought, well, at first I thought maybe you would put a light in it, but it's not made for that. It's just must have been part of like a village, or maybe even like a miniature, like display of a town. I have no idea. But the reason I picked it up is because I thought, well, I could paint it with like folk flowers feathers, and it would look super cute that way, and it could be a nice little prop for animals. And that goes into one of our hopefully upcoming videos too, which is mice. We'll make our mice houses, or we'll make our mouses houses, which is what I was accidentally going to say. But we'll make our mice houses, and some of you will want to do like cardboard and paper mache like I use, and some of you might have a doll house. But like, be on the lookout if you're not wanting to actually construct the house, you don't have time. Like, if you could find a birdhouse or a decorative birdhouse or other little wooden houses. This might be a little small for a mouse, but you could make do with it, and you could cut out a little bit larger opening if you wanted to. So like, just kind of keep your eye open, because sometimes you see what you think is like sort of just a tacky decoration, but it would work really well for a little house for a figurine or animal. So I picked this up just because it was so well done, but also to kind of give you that idea. And that was, I think, 25 cents. Here is another thing that has a boring item, but has a backstory, which is that I had 3 vintage potato mashers with wooden handles, all different. Like, no, 2 had green painted handles and 1 had red. And Nettie wanted to make supper, the other dinner, whatever you say, the other evening, and she wanted to make mashed potatoes. And we were mashing the potatoes. Well, she was mashing them, and I was just kind of standing to the side, helping or watching. She was mostly doing it on her own, but I looked in the bowl and I was like, we haven't put anything green in these potatoes. And that potato masher, like, the paint was just sloughing off the handle into the mashed potatoes, and so we had to dump those and start over, which luckily I had made extra. But that was my lesson, in that I sometimes go too far in trying to use old things, and you definitely shouldn't keep old things with chipping paint around in your kitchen. That's probably definitely a no-no, and I'm not sure. Luckily, I don't make obviously, I don't make mashed potatoes often, or I would have noticed that before, or we would all have had lead poisoning, or slowly we're getting, but we don't, because we don't make mashed potatoes very often. But anyway, when I saw this today, I was like, we're going to the 20th century, or the late 20th century at least, with a plastic handled potato masher. And just a little public service announcement: if you also think that your vintage potato masher is cute and you pull it out sometimes, you just watch that it's not flaking into your potatoes. I couldn't believe it. Some of you button people would be so jealous. These are pretty amazing buttons, and this together, the pink and yellow, were 25 cents. They are very vintage, and there are some really neat ones in there. And these red and green ones together were 25 cents, and I was like, I mean, I'm not really a person who uses a ton of buttons, but I knew that these would be enjoyed by someone, and that I could send them on to someone, or like, let Nettie and her friends craft a little bit with these. So I just couldn't pass those up. And then just a piece of old felt, which I like to pick up because I don't like to buy new felt, because of the wool thing. I try not to, buy animal products, but if I see old felt, I do pick it up because it's handy for dressing animals, like making a little vest for a cotton mouse. So, and the old felt is a lot of times much better quality than you find in the new felt. And then this is I don't know, I don't know, it's some sort of game. I don't know if I should recognize what game it is, or if it's just its own sort of game, but it's tiles with songbirds, and yeah, I think songbirds on them. So anyway, I thought I'd pick that up because anytime I see something with a vintage item with birds, I think someone will like that, either for like junk journaling, or my brother-in-law is a birder. He's a bird enthusiast, so I always pick up a bird item for thinking that he might like it. Okay, so that was, and then the last thing from that garage sale is that they were wonderful gardeners, and they had plants like this for 25 cents. So I got several of these, what are they called? Accidentia, something like that. My grandma used to call it something different, which is not appropriate anymore, and so I'm dumb about the name. But I saw it's something like Trascadentia or something like that. You will recognize that because she had given me, when I first was married, many starts from her house plants, Swedish ivy and some of this, and I kept them alive for several years, and then somehow in the move I lost several of them. The Hoya plant that she gave me I've kept alive and have many, many, many Hoyas from it, but these I somehow didn't keep alive, even though I think this is pretty easy. But so in her honor I will be starting a new, or maybe a couple new ones, and then they just had some free drip pans, which I was like, free drip pans? That's a good deal. How can you pass up that? And then that was all from one sale, and then this is all I got from stopping at several others, because that's how, you know how you find one and it's just your stuff, and then the others are like, well, this really isn't my kind of stuff. But someone had a huge collection of the vintage Garfield stuffies, and Grandma had a stuffy just like this of Garfield. She had an Odie too, and I'm not sure which of the kids or grandkids claimed that, but it wasn't me. I didn't end up with the Garfield, so I will either keep this or it may go to my mom, assuming, I'm pretty sure she didn't get the Garfield, so I may pass that along to her. And then when I went to Grandma's, we've been through many times, all of us, but when I went in today, I was taking pictures and just looking around. There was sitting her grungy, just plastic. There's nothing special about that at all, except that she used it to water her plants, and I remember her using it. It's even been gnawed either by a rat or a dog here. But actually, aside from it just being something that she touched and used, and that at this point that makes it sentimental to me, my plastic watering can, because I don't have a neat like copper one, I have a very tiny copper one, but my plastic watering can that I use for my houseplants is lime green, which drives me crazy, but it's what they had at the store when I needed one, so that's what I have. But now I'll use Grandma's, I guess. I feel kind of bad because maybe someone else would have wanted that if they'd been there last, but there it was sitting on the counter, so I took it. This cup, she always had, I'm pretty sure she always had, like, what was it? They were like war tokens. They were like little cardboard things from World War II. I don't know. What I remember her saying is you could take them to the general store, I think, and redeem them for something. And I thought she used to have that in her china cabinet with those things in it. I don't know for sure. This is just one random measuring cup. I mean, I have several like this, but this has the evidence of Grandma's hard water on it, and also the fact that she didn't ever use like grease cutting dish soap. She used the kind that was soft on your hands, and so it didn't ever cut the grease. And all her metal like cookware has like yellow grease built up around the rims. She probably wouldn't appreciate me sharing that, but that's just how her dishes were. This is not really my style, probably. It's got like the eagle, a patriotic eagle on it, and it's a little kerosene lamp, but it was there, and I actually thought someone else had claimed this, but it was like just laying there, and I don't know if they missed it, so this may go to someone if they had meant to take it, but I brought it home just in case they would, because we don't know when the man is going to come, to bulldoze the house. And so, on the off chance that he would come, I just thought I'd better take that. I don't know either if someone, I feel like someone surely had had put this in a box of their things and meant to take it, but it's her watch, which I remember, or one of, she had not just one, but I remember this one. Nothing special. She never had any. Um, her jewelry was always costume jewelry. Now here is a cameo, but I'm sure it's not anything old or valuable. It's just I remember her wearing that, and just Grandma was very into like patriotic holidays, so she had many like flag brooches and pins. Here is a W pin that someone gave her, I'm sure, for Wilma. So yeah, nothing special here, but it is some of her jewelry, and I feel like someone probably meant to take that. So I just have it, and it will probably go on to someone else once I figure out who meant to have that. This was maybe this was the only, she had all over her house. She would type things up or cut them out of books or whatever if she read something that helped her or meant something to her. So we would say affirmations. Now, it was some scriptures and some things that other people had written and some poetry and just all sorts of things. But she had them scotch taped like all over the house, especially her kitchen. That was the main place, but some in other rooms. And this was still hanging with its little scotch tape on the windowsill in the bathroom, and it says, it is written by Teresa de Avila. Is that how you say Saint Teresa of Avila? So it says, let nothing disturb thee, let nothing dismay thee. All things pass. God never changes. Patience attains all that it strives for. He who has God lacks for nothing. God alone suffices. And sorry, that moves me because I know that it meant something and helped Grandma. And so that means something to me, whether or not I have the kind of faith that she had. It's still very meaningful to me. So I'll probably keep that up here with my different affirmations and art inspiration. And then there was just a little bit of old music because she was a piano player, and all of her kids sang and they did music together. There's the Snyder family singers, so there was always lots of music, and there was just a little bit left. And a couple, this is a cookbook. I'm trying to, there is no cover on it, but she had put her name on it, which I wanted to have that at least. I don't know. There's no cover left on it, so I don't know what the name of that cookbook was. And then this is another cookbook that is pretty well stained, and so I know that she used it, and there may be a few notes in there on some of the recipes, and just one little recipe on a card tucked in that's not written by her. It's by a friend, I assume, named Eleanor. So, those were the last few things. I really feel like there's not anything left in the house, except just what is in a house, which in an empty house, and a house that's been mostly gutted is just the memories and shadows. So it was a good day, kind of an emotional day, but I just wanted to share that with you because that's where I am right now. I am still saying goodbye, still very busy with other things going on, and it is very much garden season. I've done a lot of that. Not as much making as I do in the winter, but I have had several video ideas that I really want to do for you, and what's been holding me back is a few extra projects going on because it's springtime, and also just dreading the editing process. So I'm sorry, and dreading the editing process, and also having some stage fright. Um, but I'm sorry I did not get to things as in the time frame that I think probably you assumed I meant, and the time frame that I really intended to follow through on. I'm going to try to make the videos more manageable for me, maybe not quite so long, or at least some of them not quite so long, so that I can actually get them done and out to you. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you have something lovely and fragrant blooming in your neck of the woods. I appreciate all of you so much. I think I haven't, I've gotten this far in the video and I didn't, and so I said I was overwhelmed by the response to the mouse makeup, but I don't think I thanked you. I want to thank all of you who are with me always. I get so much support, and you guys really do, like, you just send so much kindness my way. Lots of kindness, encouragement, and love, and I do feel that. I just do also get a little overwhelmed sometimes, and just don't, also just have trouble finding time for everything. But I value the community that we have and the time that we share together. And I hope that we can continue to have those times and enjoy sharing with each other, the creative process, and also love for old things, and just kind of our shared experiences. So thank you so much for watching and for being here, for commenting, and just supporting me in all the ways that you do. And I hope to see you soon, and I wish you happy thrifting, happy flower picking, happy gardening, happy making, just all the happy things. And I will see you soon.